Is this one? Oh, there. That's a visualizer. That is there. Okay. Oh, that's working.
So we're ready?
Alright. I'm ready.
Sterkte. Want er een beetje lipstick aan de pas in? Op je bank. Ik kan niet doen. Kom op. Sterkte. En dan weer, Krijg je
Good afternoon, learners and educators, teachers. We are here and we're ready. Last week we did the measurement, but today we're going to focus on data, and I'm sure you're ready. On Saturday, you started off with the English people started off with the exemplar paper. You see that papers that the presenter are doing on Saturdays are paper. She started off with paper 1. And she will continue on Saturday, I think, with paper 2. I don't know how far she got with the session 1. I'll be doing the same type of topics, just different exercises that we will be doing, because I would like us to consolidate this so that you can, what she's doing, I'm also doing, what your teacher doing, she's also doing. I start off with data. I know you did data in term 2, in term 1, you did some data. But in term 3, the main focus is actually on maps and plans and on probability and models. We'll come to that later on in the term. But for this Wednesday and next Wednesday, we'll focus on data, and you will get the same type of exercises on Saturday, and coming Saturday you will do finances. When you finish there, because data and finance will be in paper 1, and what we finished off last week, the measurement, you'll be having in paper 2. So, for now in data, what will we be doing today? We will be looking at what is data? Data is when we get the exercises, we'll get questionnaires that we will have to complete around a certain topic, and then out of that questionnaire you will get, of course, you have to present that data, whether it's in what type of graph also. It can be a line graph, a pie graph, a bar graph, vertical, horizontal, histogram. You will represent that, but you will also have to take that data and you will have that tally marks, and then you will get the frequency tables and things like that, and then afterwards we will interpret. Now today we will focus on some of the interpretation, looking specifically at graphs and maybe the central tendency, which is your mean, median and mode, and there will also be the spread of the data. Right? So I sent this earlier to the school, and I hope your teachers copy some of it. I'm sure they did. If they didn't, I'll leave this and we can work through that so that you can see. But we won't start off with this. You can see what I did. This was a compilation of a few past papers, and mostly your data was question 5, but I don't think it will be the same. Maybe they can start off with question 1 as data, but everyone is question 5. So what I did with this, I numbered the pages. This is page number 2, and if we go on and we look, and we look at this, am I now doing the thing right? There it is. And there's page 3. You can see in the corner, on your left hand corner, there's the page numbers. That is page 3. That is the annexure. This annexure is with that page, with that question. And then you will get again a question 5. simple question level 1 and 2 questions mostly, and again a question 5, but we'll focus on the page numbers, right? I will tell you this is page 5, we're working on page 5, or we're working on page 6 or page 7, it's up until page 7. Okay, we won't start with the questions on page 2 because I actually I arranged it too difficult. The questions on page 2 is mostly level 3, level 4, questions 2, 4. So we'll start off on page 4. We'll start with the easy type of questions, and later afterwards I'll get back to that. We first want to make that rusty in your brains a bit loose. So can we look at table 5 here? What are they saying? They say in table 5, the table 5 here below shows the results of a recent gymnastics competition held at the school. This table shows the gymnast names. Here we can see gymnast names, the team, the division, whether they are senior A, junior B, junior A, and then and various events with the total scores. That is, like on the vault, you all watching the Olympics these days, so you know what is the vault. The bars, right? You get the double bar and the single bar. The girls, of course, are using the double bar. Then that beam, the balancing beam, the men don't work on that. It will be very difficult for them to work. If they fall on them, that beam, then the whole future is gone. And then the floor, both men and women are there, and the vault also. Right. Now, use this table to answer the following questions. There you can see the scores. If you get a 10, then it's a perfect score. You did that vault perfectly. I don't see any 10s here. And then I want you now, this is, as again, remember what I told you. You first have to read this and see what's all these things. If you look at this number here at Gillian, the senior A, the vault plus the bars plus the beam plus the floor, it adds up to 37.675. So that's the total that a person got for it. And then this is the questions. I'm going to give you, what did I say? 2 marks, 2 minutes. 2 marks, 3 marks, 3 minutes. I'm going to give you just now 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. I'm not going to give you 18 minutes. I'm going to give you 15 minutes, 12 minutes to complete that. And then we will work after. You first work, and then I'll go with you through the answers. Thank you very much. 15 minutes or 22 will be ready to the answers. While you are working through the answers, your teachers must walk through. They mustn't stand on one place. They tell me if they stand on one place. They must walk through and see if you are doing your work. And they must help you where they focus. And they must help you, right? 5 minutes. Two more minutes. Okay, I think we can start with looking at the answers. You should, actually I gave you little time to complete it. In the exam I would say this is about 18 minutes to complete. I only gave you now 12 minutes. And sometimes they take this mark and they multiply it by 1.2 and they say a learner should be able to work it out in 1.2 minutes per mark. which is of course in this case 21.6 minutes if you multiply the 18 by 1.2. So you must always be conscious of your time so that you are not caught at the end of incomplete. Always try and do the questions that you can do first, and then you leave space, but you leave space, and you come back afterwards to that question that you couldn't answer. Right? The main thing is here to get as much marks as possible. If you can answer all, then it's great. Right? So try always to do your best in answering. The first one is very easy. Identify the team that achieved the highest score for the vault. Now you can see here's the vault, the bars, the beam, the floor, and then the total score. Now which one got the highest mark for the vault? So you have to look in the vault, and you have to look at what is the highest. Here you can see the big number, 9.650. Is that the biggest number that you can get? 9 is for the vault, 9.650. And which team is that? These are 9.5, it's for the vault. And that is also that. Both are TGA, so your answer is TGA, senior A. But there they did better there in that case. TG, so your answer was TG. TGA. Right, if you just wrote TGA, it's fine, they will accept it. There are two TGAs, the one is, and both are senior A, so it doesn't matter which one you wrote there. Alright, the second question, determine the range. Determine the range of G. Gilliland's score. And if you look, what is the range? What do you know about the range? The range is, again, if we look, the range is the highest. The range is equal to the highest minus the lowest. Right? Now what is the highest? If you look at the highest here, is 9 point of Gillian's. That number's there in that row. Oh, sorry. Got to change that. That number's in that row there. Right? This G. Gilliland. You see, the problem we had in the past is that the grade 12 learners can't. This is it's a simple table to read. But sometimes the learners make mistakes because they're in a hurry. So you have to look now there what's the highest, and the highest there was 9.625 minus the lowest, which is 9.100, and if you subtract that 2, then you get 0.525. Was that your answer? Right. In the third question, 5.13, calculate the mean. The mean score. The mean score of what? Very important. You mustn't just jump. It's the mean score of the bar event. These are the bars. So now you must look at this total here. So what must you do? What is the mean? Also means, I write it like that. The mean also means average. Right. Is equal to, you must now add all that totals. All that totals. 9 starting with 9.1. I'm going to do it this side here. 9.100 plus 9.250, and then you go on, you add up until the last one. Up until the, I'm not going to count, write everything down. Up until the last one, oh sorry, is the mean. You see there, calculate the mean of the bars. Up until the last one, 9.20. And how many numbers are there? If you count again, if you count that numbers from the bars from there till there, then you get 10. And you divide it by 10, And if you put it in your calculator, I think most of you got it right. Right? And that's the mean of the bars in here. 8,975. Alright. 5.1.4. Determine the missing value of A. This A. Now what can you tell me of this? If you look at the rows like that, can we look at the top one, at the Rigby's one, right? If you count that, 9, I'm going to just go with it now. That yellow is on that space. If you count that, just the top row there, 9.5 plus 8.650 plus 8.925 plus 9.350. If you add that four totals, then you will get 36,425. So what does that tell you about A? You must count all that together. Now can we do it quickly? If I count all that up, or I can either say I count that, or I can say, right, if I take that number 36, if I take that number 36.42, 425, and I subtract, if I look at that and I subtract that 9.225 and 9.100 and 9.300 from that number, the answer will be A. So A is equal to all that numbers, you add all that numbers up, 9.225 plus 9.100 plus 9.300. And if you apply BODMAS, first brackets, and if you get that answer, then you subtract it from that. So if you do that, then you will get 8,800. Am I right? 8,800. That was the answer that you were supposed to get. If you didn't get that answer, then just check. Just make sure what you did. Because people forget, they will just, if you can remember from your grade 6, grade 8 work, that if you multiply in, that becomes minus, minus, minus. I don't want it to make it not too difficult for you by explaining all that. Because if you have the right calculator and you write it down like that, then you will get the answer. If you have the casual, calculator, the one like mine, you have this one, then it has the BODMAS built in it, right? Okay. The next question is, write down the modal score for the total points score. What is the modal score? You remember I said the central tendency, values of central tendency are your mean, your median, and your mode. The mode is the number that appears the most. Now which number appears the most here for 5-point the modal? They say determine the modal score for the total points, right? This is the total score. They ask that. Which number here in this row? Now that's again, you have to know. You mustn't just jump to a number and see which number appears. But in this column here, and which number appears the most? If I look at here, they are 36.425, 36. They appear twice. This number appeared twice. The others all just once. So in that case, your modal number is equal to 36,975. Oh, sorry. Oops. How do I write that? 425. Excuse me. Sorry for that. I read the number, but I wrote it down wrong. And then the next question. The next question is, determine as a percentage. So here's already, this tell you that your answer must be in a percentage. What must you determine? The probability of selecting a gymnast in the junior division. Very important. They say they don't say all gymnasts. They say in the junior division with a total score of more than 36,970. When we first look at the juniors, how many junior teams are there? If you look at this, we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the first thing that we do at 5,16, if you just do that and you say your denominator is 5. There are 5. Now how many of that 5 learners, how many of them scored more than 36,970? So now come we look at that juniors at more than 9,30, sorry, we have to look here, sorry man, 36, there's 1. Is that more than 36,970? Yes, so it's 1, 2 already. Another junior? No. No. Yes, so it's 3. So if you go back, sorry, 3 out of 5 scored more than the total. Did you get that? Okay. And now you must just turn it into a percentage. And what do? You multiply it with 100. On your calculator, just 3 over 5 multiplied by 100, and you will get 60%. Now it's 3 marks. You will get a mark for the 3, a mark for the 5, and a mark for the answer as a percentage. Very important that you note how the mark allocation are. Right? In a case like this, they will just give you like that. They won't give for the answer alone. If you wrote just 60%, then they wouldn't give you the answer for it. Alright. They will give you an answer, but they wanted to know how you get to it. Okay, the last one, calculate the value of the quartile of 2 for the 4 event. This is the floor. What is quartile? Quartile is nothing else but the middle value. The middle value of the, you must first arrange that data in ascending or descending. Right? So if we look at this values here, then we have to go and arrange it. We can't just use, because this is not arranged. And you see, here's that number is high, that one is low, high again, low, low, high, low, high. You see, so you have to look and you have to arrange it. Now can we see how did you do that arranging? You would have said, right, the first number there, let me see if I can put this in here. The first number, if you look at that numbers, that's the lowest number there, is of the floor event, right? So what is the lowest number there? 9050. So it's 950. Right? The next number there is 9,225. 9,225. And so it goes on up until you get to the highest number, which is 9,625. 9,625. But here's numbers in the middle. This is 10 values. So I'll just go and go straight to the, if it's 10 values, then it means the middle value will be between number 5 and 6. So the fifth number in this case was 9,375, and the sixth number was 9,40. Right? So that is the middle value. It would have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on this side, 5 numbers on this side, and 5 numbers on that side. Right? Okay, so what's your next step? You will say, right, 9, that 2 numbers, 9,375 plus 9,400, and you divide it by 2, you take an average of them, and your quartile would have been 9,287. 9,3875. Remember this, they say quartile 2, but it's also the median. It's also the median. Okay? So the quartile 2 is nothing else but the median. Alright, there's it. That was 5.17. Let me look at the next one. The next answers here, the next one is Annex C, shows data relating to the 2015 and 2016 admissions for full-time NSC candidates for the 11 most common subjects. A full-time candidates have to take at least 7 subjects. Mathematics or mathematical literacy is compulsory. Right? So you are the group that falls into mathematical literacy. But your friends not doing maths lit, they are doing mathematics. One of the two you must do. It's compulsory. So, can we say, I'll give you, I've told them now 2, 4, 6, 10, 12, 14. I'll give you 12 minutes again to complete this, and then we'll go 12 minutes to complete this, and then you go through. If you go down lower, I just want to show you. If we go down lower, then you will see, let me just see if I can make this smaller a bit. So, no, yeah. Okay. Here it is, the subject: accounting, agricultural sciences, business studies, economics, right? English, first additional language, geography, history, and you go down, 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 and it ends here at physical science. The keys is admitted. The light color there, the top one, that is 2015 total, and the grayer one, the darker one, is 2016. That is very interesting. What does that mean? It's going down. It means that number went down from 2015. The account number dropped from 2015 to 2016. There was an increase in agriculture, 7,324. Sorry, that's a total 7,324. Here was a drop in business studies of 4,529 learners. So here you can read it also. Okay, so I'm going to leave you now and give you, what did I say, 12 minutes. 12 minutes to complete that. And then we'll come back and look at the answers. You can't just listen to me. I don't think you like this voice.
Make me go. What is on it, right? Okay, I need you to do me a favor. Leave the venue there and then go to Kensington. Sorry to disrupt on the day later. Leave there, leave the venue. Go to Kensington. The red one, the one with the red logo. Okay, can you hear me? Put on your... And now, can you hear me? And now.
Okay, we are back. I'm not going to give you the full 12 minutes to complete, otherwise there's still a few questions that I want you. We don't get finished with all the marks or all the questions, then you can do it at home, and then we can continue. We can start next week with where we ended. Okay, because I plan actually to give a little more data questions when we come back next week. The more you practice, mathematics is a practice subject. The more you practice, the more questions you answer, the more you will get confidence, and the more you will answer correctly. So it's important that you do your questions as you can. Okay, can we just look at this? An exercise I already said, and we spoke about the. You can see it. So come we look at the answers. Name another type of graphical representation that could be used to represent this data. This data is represented in what type of graph is this? A horizontal bar graph. Okay, it's horizontal, can you see? But you can also represent this data in a line graph. Right? You can also represent it in a line graph. Okay. A broken line graph or just a line graph? Actually, why would we say broken? Because these numbers are fixed, independent. Okay. Can we look at this? Determine the maximum number of candidates who were admitted as full-time candidates in 2016. Who are they in 2016? Which number? Which subjects are compulsory? Your mathematical literacy and your mathematics. So if you add that two numbers, that 389,000, because we're looking at they asked for 2015. So we look at the 398,632. Am I right? Are we looking at that number for mathematical literacy? And we look at this number here for mathematics, because it's the 2015. They asked to determine the maximum number of candidates. How am I reading today? Today I'm reading like a sub 8. I see wrong numbers. Who admitted full-time candidates 2016, is it? Sorry, so it's that number 389,651. So it's that number 389,615 plus the maths number, and it's 269. Am I right? 287. Am I right? 287. Sorry, 2. Can you see how easily you can make errors if you don't focus and concentrate? And if you add that two numbers, then you get 677068. Is that what you got? That is. We took that because, can you see, here in the beginning was your clue. In the beginning was your clue where they said all full-time candidates have to take at least 7 subjects. Mathematics or mathematical literacy is compulsory. So it means just adding those two numbers, then you know how many candidates, full-time candidates were there. Then determine the probability of randomly selecting a candidate taking mathematics or mathematical literacy. I think that's a giveaway 2 marks. Why do I say that's a giveaway 2 marks? Because a candidate must do mathematics or mathematical literacy. So if you take a candidate, and then your probability would probably all be 100% or certain or definite. You put it in words. You can say certain. You can say definite. Why? Because if you pick that, they will do as one of those subjects. Then List all the subjects that showed a decrease in the number of full-time candidates from 2015 to 2016. So decrease, here you could have just mentioned that, look at that minus numbers there, oh sorry, that minus numbers there on the graph. It would have been accounting, business studies, economics, mathematical literacy, right? Those are the 4 subjects, so that would have been your answer. Easy. Just looking at that. You could have visual, there you could have seen, or you could have read the numbers. That number there is smaller than that one, so it means it was a drop. Here was an increase. Here was a drop. Business studies. Okay. Next question. The next question is, let me just drink a bit of water. My throat is dry. Determine the next, no, where are we there? Sorry, list all the subjects, okay, we did that one. Where are we here? Name the subject that showed the greatest increase in the number of candidates admitted in 2016. Here you could also have just look which number of the biggest. There's an increase. There's an increase of 12,000. There's an increase also 12, 7,000, 14,000, 18,000. Answer is mathematics. See how you could read it. Okay. And then they ask, explain why is it called categorical data? Why do we call it that? If you look at this, this is numerical. Can you see this is these numbers? But here's categorical data because there they call these the subject names. One variable is in the data is grouped into subjects. Okay? That's one variable, and that's the other one is grouped into subjects. And then the last question, identify which subject in 2016 had more than 223,000 less than 274,000. You must read 2020 that had more than 223,000. Which subject is that? Can we go look? You see here, the answer is more business studies. Right. Okay. Can we look to go to the next question? The next question I'll give you, oh, we almost time, but we can, okay, I'll just give you time to work quickly through it. Maybe I can just start off with the first one, just explaining this table. Below shows the labor force characteristics of South Africa for the 5th quarter of 2017. Labor force characteristics in South Africa just mean that's the total labor force, the total NEA. What does it mean? Not economically active. They're not employed. Basically they say they are unemployed. Economically active, the total employers, and this is the, can you see, it's a small number, but what must you add? Can you see, in thousands. So behind all these numbers, you still add 3 zeros. In other words, if you look at the first one there, it is 4,260, then you must add another 3 zeros. So what does that become? Now it becomes 4,216,000. It's a big number actually. So you must know how to read the numbers. Okay. There you can go, that's the provinces: Eastern Cape, Free State, Gauteng, KwaZulu-Natal, Limpopo, Mpumalanga, Northern Cape, Northwest, Western Cape. And this is of the whole of South Africa. Right? That's all. So in South Africa, if we look at this, they say 15,475 people is not working. You must add 3, so more than 15 million people are not economically active. Okay. Right, we can start with that answers. I'll give you 4 minutes. Now 4 minutes to look up. 2, 4. You can answer at least 4 questions quickly. Okay, students, let's call it a day, an hour. I think your day was very long at school also. Complete for me all that questions and that first question 5 on page 1 also, so that we can start and working with it. I see people are running out of class. Am I so boring? You mustn't run away from